know.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Please let me know in the comment section if you can hear my voice. Hello, is this thing on? There's some people in watching. Now let me know. Do you hear me? Yes, you can hear. Cool. God shed his blood on to pray for your sins. Thank you, Letty, for letting me know. Kind of glad you've got that as a username. That kind of runs into sort of what I want to talk about. But before I get to my topic, like many of you, I have watched the Johnny Depp verdict read and watched Amber Heard sit there in all her infamous glory and go down in history, and or at least in modern history, as one of the greatest losses, victories. Watching that smug look on her face, she played it pretty good, tried not to be overly dramatic, but she's just not that good of an actress, because the rest of us who've had to deal with people like her, we just saw right through it. And it was really, really, really beautiful to watch. And it sucks to be like that because it sounds cynical. I'm trying not to be cynical, but wow. That was very powerful. And they started reading off all the questions, and he just won every single one of them. I think that what minor thing she did win with Johnny's rep or whatever. Again, I'm not an expert I haven't watched it that close. I think it's just like a token thing. And of course they're going to appeal, but this was a gigantic win. This was a win for not just Johnny, but every other human being, man or woman, who has been in Johnny's shoes, falsely accused of crap that never happened, and he decided to fight back. And when he did it, it was back in, the Me Too era, or as I like to refer to it, the Me Poo era. I didn't fall for it back then. I was aware of his case back then. Like I've said before, I made a video where I nothing in detail, just showing general support for Johnny. And I made a joke that, hey, Johnny, at least you were, married to Amber Heard and not Amber Geiger. At least he's still alive. But back then, when Johnny first started all this, standing up, when it first hit him and then he started to fight back, it was an uphill battle. Even for someone, a megastar like him. Megastars have gone down, lots of them. But he just played it with grace. And I think his tactic of just being brutally honest, he didn't have to play the part about, he didn't hit a woman. That was easy because it didn't happen. But, nobody wants, the really, really kind of rather embarrassing details. You done, Haney? Okay. Well, I didn't mean to run you off. No. Okay. To have all your most embarrassing details broadcast, I mean, it couldn't have been that enjoyable. I can only imagine. I've been in court many times, and it's not fun, and especially when you lose. I can only imagine. Amber, I know a lot of people are feeling sorry for her, but I'm not at all. Like, that just needs to be a lesson. If for nothing else, some of the people who hate me would say this is a slap in the face for, actual for women who are abused. And I say it's the exact opposite. I say Amber Heard is a slap in the face for real victims. I equate that to, in my situation, where people watch the Parker movie and say, "Oh, this dad's a deadbeat. He never showed up, and he's kidnapped him. That's against the law. He should have gone by the court orders, and that's just straight up kidnapping." And my same sentiment there is that is an absolute insult to real kidnap victims. There are children that have been kidnapped, especially if you've been paying any kind of attention with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. Real kids are being groomed and abducted and enslaved. And there's certain words I probably can't say, and I got to watch my language, but so weird. The words I can drop F-bombs all day long as long as it's not within the first 2 minutes, but there are other words that you can just read that they're not on the dirty word list, the Carlin dirty word list. You can't say or you get demonetized. But to the real victims of kidnapping, and to say that I kidnapped my own son is just absolutely absurd and insulting. And to say that, what happened today to poor Amber Heard, it's just, it's a shock to the system for any women who have just been scared to come forward. I say it's the exact opposite. I think Amber Heard is a disgrace. I think Amber Heard deserves everything she's got coming to her. I think she did real rape victims and abuse victims a huge disservice by being the gold digging blankety blank that she is. I got the biggest kick out of, and I'm going to get to my topic today, I promise y'all, but I got to get this off my chest. Hey, do y'all like my shirt? Got this brand new at Marshall's. I know it's an old store, but to me, it's brand new, like this designer crap that's like pennies on the dollar. But anyway, here I go, lose my train of thought again. Where was I? What was I talking about? Amber Heard. There's one more thing I wanted to drive home, and I just completely lost it, but that's okay. But I was already going to talk about today's topic, about the title of this. Yes, kids act out, but it's not, to me, and this is just coming from my own observations in life, it's not always a bad kid any more than all men are scumbags, any more than all women are saints, any more than all fathers deserve to, be visitors. In my observation, there's far too many instances of kids, acting out. That's what I've read a million comments about my own kids acting out, both Hayden or both Parker and Blaine. Oh, they're just being brats. They're just acting out. They just want to go have fun Disneyland dad time. Sometimes, though a child may not be able to identify what exactly is wrong, and certainly may not be able to identify what the proper solution is, they know inherently that something is not right. There's been movies made about this. There's been books written about this very topic. We all went to school, depending on how, people my age, we all went to school. We all knew a kid that was, quote unquote, acting out, wearing all black and just, dissociating completely from the world. And I remember being one of those kids, look at those other kids, and I didn't understand them. I just thought, what I was told, they're bad kids. They do bad things. They're bad seeds. They're poor parents. And in some cases, obviously, that is the case. They're just rotten to the core. I mean, there's people on death row right now. They were once children, and something happened in their heads. Maybe it was somebody else's actions. Maybe it was they were born that way. I don't know. But I just, over the years, and the reason I bring this up is I just saw a few comments on various videos of my own where people are just calling, my kids brats, and they're just acting out, and they need to be whipped with a belt. And sometimes honor thy father and thy mother as a blanket fit all, one size fits all rule is just plain wrong. It's not right. Because, well, think about it. We all know evil exists. Jeffrey Epstein, the people associated with Jeffrey Epstein, pretty much pick your favorite politician and they're all associated with him one way or another. A lot of those people are parents. Maybe their kids are just scared to death to speak out because their mom is world famous. Their dad is world famous. No one who's going to believe them. They would never do something like that. And I just think it's a horrible precedent to teach that to society, to teach that as this has to be the way it is because they're your mother, they're your father. They gave birth to you. They brought you into this world. They can take you out. That mentality, I think it's a terrible, terrible precedent. And I know I'm going to upset some people, but sometimes, they say, truth hurts. Sometimes parents, maybe your cheerings are acting out because it's a reflection of you. Maybe you need to do some soul searching. Find out, do you have a soul? Do you feel anything for anybody else? Can you really empathize with the mental anguishment of not just your own child, any child going through hell? Because I can. And I'm kind of in a position I would know. For years, people have left in the comment section or emails or messaging me on various social media. Like just today, I read one from this, I think it was a young man. I think he said he's about 16. Okay, something along like Mr. Leverett, thank you so much for putting your story out there. It couldn't have been easy, but I've been following your story, and I finally got the courage to stand up to my abusive father today. And that's humbling to me. That's very, very humbling to me that it's powerful. It puts me into a place where I constantly need to keep myself in check and realize that there's other people looking up to me. And it seems like not just too long ago, I was desperate to find answers. And sometimes I don't know how to put this. I get accused of a lot of things. This is never, anything that I ever do is not about a particular group always being in the wrong or always being the victim. It drives me bonkers when people try to pigeonhole me and call me a misogynist when admittedly, I've admitted this for years. For about a year in my life, I was a full-blown misogynist. I admit it. When I hit rock bottom, I was just really, really angry and really, really drunk every night just to go to sleep. At first, it wasn't to sleep. It was to deal with the sorrow and the depression. And then as the sorrow and depression finally started easing, it became a chemical addiction that I had. I couldn't sleep without it. So I wasn't necessarily depressed. I mean, I wasn't in the greatest of state of mind because I'd just gone through hell and back and, lived just to tale the tale. But when I got back to reality, I was still hooked on a substance. And as much as I would love to say, pour a mega pint for Johnny, this is just water, I promise. If you are of the mega pint wine community, let's just pour one to Johnny. I'm not going to partake because I do not drink alcohol. I fucking rail against that shit. I just can't stand it because it's just poison. It's brought me nothing but misery. Well, I'll take that back. Here's another controversial statement that might get me in trouble, but let's just face it. Drugs are fun. They really are fun in the short run. Alcohol was fun in the short run. Eventually, the headaches and the broke pocketbook outweighed the temporary joy that I got. Was it really joy? I don't know. But tying that into kids that are acting up, they want an escape, and I see why. They want pain relief of some kind. And let's face it, the first time you roll your first joint, take your first drag, wait about 10, 15 minutes. It's just fun. It's amazing because you don't get that kind of relief in real life because you've always got someone, you know, constantly on your ass. That is why kids turn to it. And turn on my other light here. Yeah. I like my little remote. Isn't that cute? Turn it up to 60% or 100%. Yeah, let's turn it down. We'll do 50%. You wonder why those stoner kids grew their hair out and got fake tattoos, eventually real tattoos. Started listening to that hard metal or that hard rap music. Hell, that's kind of the birth of rap from my understanding. I'm by no means an expert in it. I enjoy some of it. I enjoy a lot of it, especially old school 90s stuff. I really enjoy it, but it was born, you know, even grunge was born out of people getting fed up with the bullshit, constantly being told what to do, constantly being just pick, just constantly being peck, over and over. It drives them nuts. Some people turn to drugs. Some people turn to sex, drugs, and rock and roll because it's fun. It's the road to nowhere in the long run, but it's fun at the time. But the good news is eventually you get to the point to where you've gone through so much crap, and if you can learn to balance it and come out on the other side, sex can be fun in the right setting. Drugs can be fun in the right settings. I'd stay away from the really nasty stuff, but hallucinogenics, the herb, I don't even call those drugs. Make up your own mind, whatever you think of that, but stuff that harms your body is not good, but things that just open your eyes, oh, it's just amazing, which makes it even more amazing as to why alcohol has ever been. I mean, I'm against, you know, abolition of anything, but if you're going to legalize a drug, why in the world would you pick alcohol? Blech. God almighty, it's awful. It's the road to nowhere. And yet so many of these kids have got parents who are just drunks. If you're listening to this and you're an adult or a parent, you may not be an alcoholic. You've probably been drunk before. I don't know what the sales are in the US, but I'm pretty certain it's in the billions. Every single year, billions of dollars are spent by Americans to get messed up, to get drunk. And I'll dare say that most of these adults are probably parents, and they've got cheerings. And I'm not saying just because you go get drunk one night, you're going to go home and abuse your wife or abuse your cheerings, but eventually, especially if you are really in a really dark spot and you're really angry, alcohol does that. Everybody's heard those horror stories of, I mean, hell, there's been country songs. David Allan Coe's got a lyric in one of his songs. He'd get drunk and mean as a rattlesnake, and there wasn't too much he would take from a stranger. It's in our culture. And everybody probably knows someone's gotten trashed and gone home and done something really bad. What if that repeats itself? Are those kids supposed to honor that father? Are they supposed to honor that mother? Really? Is it universally you just have to do it? And I know there's scholars that are way more educated on this than I am. Going to get into splitting hairs about, well, the Hebrew version of that, it really didn't say honor, and honor meant something like different in the Hebrew, and then it got translated to the Greek, and then to the King James version. Then you got to look at this and then this and this, and there's a gigantic web of all the different ways that people do these mental gymnastics to justify what they are told to believe is true. And maybe it is true, but that's the part about religion that just bugs me. It just absolutely drives me up a wall, is nobody has any proof. Just the fact that I say that drives some people crazy. I mean, a lot of my supporters, I know they're hardcore believers. I used to be. I used to be. I used to just blindly believe all that stuff, but I just don't believe anymore. If someone would show me the proof, that that would make it easy. Just show me the proof. I just haven't seen any. All righty. I'm going to look at some of these since I've got my new StreamYard. This is my second episode or second time to ever do this. There's Peachy Rider. I remember you. Hi, Caleb Leverett. I'm glad to see you doing so well. Well, thank you very much. I am doing so much better. I've still got problems in my life. Still got things that are bugging me. Wished I could go into some of it. There's some good things happening that I can't go into that, just cannot wait for some of these big life events to come to fruition so I can finally talk about this. But okay, Joe Barnett, where can I buy shirts at? I used to have a Spreadshirt. I guess it's technically still up, but I haven't even gotten on the website in many years. I may eventually do that. As far as this shirt, I just got it at Marshall's. Not really. Colored shirts aren't necessarily my thing, but now that I'm getting my sexy physique back, I just kind of wanted to wear this badass expensive shirt that makes me look like I play golf with Johnny Depp on a regular basis. God shed his blood to pay for your sins is the username. They said God knows that we shouldn't obey our parents when they are toxic. So you are not wrong about the statement. Maybe so. I'm not atheist. And a lot of people confuse agnosticism with being atheist. To me, being atheist is like the ultimate religion. You declare there is no God. That's like declaring I've got all the proof in the world that God doesn't exist. And to me, that's just even more foolish, or just as foolish to me. I'm simply agnostic. I have a feeling there probably is some kind of greater being, greater creator. It's just hard to believe that all this stuff, all the matter that makes up my body and the room around me and the electrons in this microphone simply just have always existed. It had to come from somewhere. So, but maybe God does know something like that. I just don't know. I like talking about it though. And I really appreciate when religious people can come on here and have a constructive conversation about it. Though we may disagree, we can talk about things. Again, bring it up with Johnny Depp. He's an alcoholic, or I don't know what the hell is an alcoholic. Maybe I wasn't an alcoholic. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. He drinks a lot, but I obviously disagree with that. But he's a grown man. He can do whatever the hell he wants to. But that doesn't mean I'm just going to shun Johnny. And to be, in all fairness, I don't know that much about Johnny and his career. To me, personally, Johnny Depp is that guy, that kid from that old TV show, 21 Jump Street. That's where I know Johnny Depp from. A lot of the kids these days obviously know him from Pirates of the Caribbean. I just found out recently, after all this hubbub, that there was more than one or two of them. There's like 5 of them, or 6. I think there's 5. There's going to be 6 or something like that. I didn't even know, but that's not a slam to him. My memory of pop culture from about 1998, when I got married to the kid's mother the second time, till about, 2018, 2020, there's just this big void in there. I was either living in hell, going through divorce hell, or going to jail, or picking, getting older and, busting my ass still in the field. I just didn't pay attention to that stuff. But Johnny can have his ideas about what he wants to do. When he celebrates having, I saw that Megapint thing. I know what the reference is, but anyways, the point is, regarding religion, I really enjoy it when religious people can have just a civil discussion. We can be friends. We can agree, hopefully, that it is not a good idea to spank your children. You can be any religion you want to, and we can agree on that. You can be any political background, and we can mutually agree on that. So here's one. Ryan, do you believe in Trinity? I assume you mean Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, or Holy Spirit. No, I'm familiar with it just because I was raised in the Baptist church since birth. But and I did at one time. I truly did. I made life-changing decisions for years based on the Christian faith in the Baptist church in which I was raised. And if you're watching this, you're probably at least somewhat familiar with how that turned out. Fun Ghost said, "You make my day." Well, Fun Ghost, I'm glad. Thank you very much. I don't know how, but thank you. Ryan's, were you a fan of him back then? Yeah, he was a cool guy. I just remember watching 21 Jump Street. He was an interesting guy. I've never disliked the guy. I just didn't know him that much other than the name. I knew he made, what was it? Willy Wonka. I've never even seen the movie. I've never even seen the full original Willy Wonka. True story. I just haven't seen it. I know he was in Edward Scissorhands. I've never seen it. True story. I've never seen Edward Scissorhands. I've begun a new chapter in my life, and those movies look really fun to watch with her someday. I'm really looking forward to all this because my girlfriend Amanda, she got on here last night and was in the chat just a little bit. She's been following this Johnny Depp stuff since forever. She knows she knows way more about it than I do, but it's going to be fun to catch up on those days. I don't feel like I've missed out. I used to feel like I missed out on a lot of that stuff, but it's all perception. Yeah, I did miss out as it happened, but hey, I get to, here soon enjoy movie night and watch Edward Scissorhands and Pirates of the Caribbean 14 for the very first time. And not many people can say that because they've already seen it years ago. Oops. Oh, man. Okay. Sorry. I thought I almost accidentally hit the wrong button and put you in the penalty box. I didn't know that's what that button was for. Luigi, the God Gamer 567. Hello, Caleb. How did you grow your channel? That's a easy question. With the Parker movie. That's it. I don't mind answering again. I'd had my channel since 2008. I did similar cut videos of this where I would talk about news stories and give, my opinion of it. I've taken them all off because they're awful, the quality, and I didn't know what I was doing. But I had about 110, 120 subscribers when the Parker movie was uploaded, and the rest is history. It went from 100 subscribers one day and almost no views on my channel. And then the Parker movie had 7,500 the next morning. It got that overnight. And the subscribers went up real crazy in the first few days, but then it just stayed at like 50 to 100 new subscribers every day, 20 to 50 every day for years. It'd fluctuate, but that's how I got it started. As far as what it is today. Sienna Price. It seems like I remember your name, Sienna. I don't mind if I'm friends with people that do believe in spankings, but they also believe that there are other ways of discipline besides spanking your child. Basically, open-minded people. Yeah. I mean, I can't just go out and, as much as I despised physically hitting children, I just, especially in modern times with all the crap that's going on, I, if I, if I just went out and made enemies and told them all to F off, everybody that spanked their child, then, you know, I wouldn't have any friends at all. I don't really subscribe to that type of absolutism, because I'll be the first to admit, as much as I do not believe in spanking, you know, popping them on the butt, that's no big deal. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. You know, like a 3-year-old that, you know, just need to wake them up. Hey, poop. You know, just a little gentle pop, you know, or get out the street. Pop. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this whole, it's going to hurt me more than it hurts you, and give them the speech, and you're supposedly crying and then pulling off the belt, and then you get angry and just start whipping the piss out of them. That's what I'm talking about. Here we go. Ryan, do you believe as of now that Jesus is God? I have no clue, like no clue whatsoever. I believe that a lot of other people believe it. I believe that millions or billions of people throughout the years have all read the same books and believed it, but I just haven't seen any proof. If Jesus is, you know, I'll be Jesus. The stories of Jesus, he's like a personal hero of mine, like for real. Like, he's all about peace and love. And then when, you know, the bankers start screwing around in his father's house, he just pulls out a whip and he whips the bankers. I mean, he flogs them. Like, that's the most rock and roll thing ever. That's just like totally badass. Like, I'm a huge fan of it. Doesn't mean I, you know, believe that it was real. Maybe it was, and maybe it's based on some kind of truth. So it's just Caitlin. You need to abruptly end this video right now and go watch Edward Scissorhands. Well said. It's just Caitlin. I will very soon. I promise. Maybe that's what I'll do as far as building my little channel and my little niche in the world over the next few months or even years. Is I'll just go watch old Johnny Depp, Edward Scissorhands, and stuff like that, and give my 2 cents on my little fledgling podcast here. Y'all are funny. Sarah Danielle, hey there, that's that handsome guy. Oh, hey Sarah, you talking about me? God's word shows that God is Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Matthew, blah, blah, blah. King James Version shows all members of the Godhead is the passage of the Bible. Yeah, I know. I mean, I totally get that. I've read the Bible from cover to cover. Coincidentally, I read the Bible from cover to cover after I stopped believing all of it. I mean, for 30 years, I'd never read the whole thing. I was shocked to find some of the verses that are in there, like really, really shocked when, what was it? I can't even think of the verse at the moment. It's been so while since I've had to think about it. Something about horse cocks. That's what it talks about. Horse cocks. Emissions are like that of horse members. And if y'all want to look it up, you can. I just don't have it in front of me. Twisty biz. Kids learn that they just get better each time. They learn something new. If they're being brats, it's a little normal. I'm not sure what you mean there. I'm not saying kids can't be brats, but I'm not saying adults can't be brats either. Little cheerins can abuse certain situations. And guess what they do when they get older? If they're not taught and sat down and talked to by a responsible adult, they grow up to be manipulative assholes like Amber Heard. And they have the family court on their side, of course. Well, Amber, she finally lost. There's Sienna again. I was friends with you on Facebook. I think I've talked to you a few times. I haven't been on Facebook for almost 2 years. Okay, maybe that's maybe that's why I kind of recognize your name. I don't even hardly get on Facebook anymore. I mean, it's real sporadic. I've got a love hate. I love the way Facebook started out. It was really fun. You could really talk about some really strange ideas and not get put in the penalty box. But you say one, I made one comment about the Uvalde thing that happened last week, and I got another ban. Like, really? I mean, I didn't threaten anybody. I didn't even say anything. I just posted what somebody else posted, and I got whacked for it. So, yeah, I just can't. I'm glad Sienna, you're not missing anything. Facebook is a cesspool, absolute cesspool. There is a way to bring in people on here. I'm looking at it right now. There is a way to do it. I just don't know how to do it. And I was talking to Amanda earlier, and she was looking into seeing how it was done, and she works with other YouTubers, and I would really like to. I'm just going to click on some buttons, see what happens. Go to group layout. I just think it'd be fun. I don't have a whole lot of people join me on these things compared to how big the channel is, but I think it'd be fun to have some of y'all hop on here. I just don't know how to do it. Let's see. Settings. Uh-oh. Y'all still see me? Mirror my camera. Audio general hotkeys, virtual background. Ooh, what's that going to do? Heads up, the green screen feature uses a bit more computer resources. I better not. I do have a green screen. It's right behind me. It's just compact. It's rolled down. I guess I'm just going to have to go live one day and set this to private and not bore y'all with all this so I can play with these. Cropped layout. Solo layout. Spotlight layout. News layout, but I push on it and nothing happens. It says what it could do, but invite guests to the broadcast studio. Send this link to your guest. You may also want to share instructions for guests. You can have up to 10 people on the screen at once. Copy to clipboard. I would have to email it or messenger it. I won't do that just yet. If you're in here, would you want to do that? What is the future of birth rate in America, in your opinion? In my opinion, without being really educated, where I see it going is there are enough, in this case, men. Again, I'm not making this about gender, but in this case, there are enough young men growing up that have looked around at stories, horror stories like mine and so many other people, and realized that marriage doesn't offer them really anything. Not enough to make it worthwhile, because if the marriage ends, which it's just a fact, about half of all marriages end in divorce. And yes, I know people are going to say, oh no, it's only about 40%. And here's the statistic. It's a bunch. It's closer to half than it is to none. And when they do that, they lose their livelihood, they lose their kids. So I see the birth rate naturally going down at this rate. If the family courts keep this crap up and make our lives this much of a living hell, I can see why young men would just say, there's nothing in it for me. I'm not going to marry anybody. Certainly not have any kids with her. What? So I can wind up like Caleb Leverett? No, thank you. And I encourage them to do that. I encourage you a lot. If you don't want kids, don't have kids. That's something that was, I don't know if it was pushed on me, but it's just like just kind of instilled as we were growing up. That's just kind of what you do. Mom and dad got married young and they had cheerings, and their parents were young and they had them, and so on and so on. It's just, I thought that was what I was supposed to do. And, get your kids involved in the church and get them baptized and raise them in the way of the Lord, so when they grow up, they will not stray. Well, I just blew that one out of the water, didn't I? Because I strayed like a mofo. But I see the birth rate naturally going down because what's the point? What's the reward? There's no incentive to get married and have children. And what, lose all your shit? Have your children ripped out from you? I'd highly encourage people, if you're going to have kids, at least wait, that will put the birth rate in the long run eventually lower. At least don't have them when you're, like when I did when I was 20. Our kid's mother was 18. At least don't have them that young. You just don't know enough about life at that age. Just wait till your late 20s or 30s. Then you might get there and say, oh, okay. Or you might get there and say, man, this is a blast, and I don't really want to mess it up by having a kid, because joyous as kids are, and I love my own. I wouldn't trade my time that I did have with my kids through all those years, from cutting the umbilical cord to now, for anything in the world, any amount of money in the world. But I would be lying to you if I said that it wasn't difficult. I personally think my situation didn't have to be that difficult. But even if it wasn't that difficult, little kids are still a pain in the ass. And that's not a slam toward little kids. They're kids. It's not their fault. That's just the nature of the beast. It's like watching one of those poor possums. You ever seen those possums? The mama possum? She gives birth to like a litter of like 10 of them. And those little rugrats just latch on her. And bless her heart, she's just struggling, climbing trees and just keeping up with the little turds. Her mama cats, and they have the same amount. And the mama cat keeping up with them, she just lays down and they get on her boobs and just suck her dry. And and human babies are the same way. They just wear you down. They just suck the energy out of you. Again, it's not a slam. It's just, I know I did it. I was a kid. Ooh, let's get this one. Tori McFarland. Doing the divorce thing now. Worked 10 years to get everything and watched it disappear in 1 year. Did the infertility IVF and then ended up with triplets. Now I'm working to be out of money on payday. See that right there? Tori knows exactly what I'm talking about. You couldn't have, for whatever reason, they couldn't have kids. They spent all this money because that IVF, in vitro, whatever, it's not cheap. I don't know how much it costs, but I know it's not cheap. And then now he's got triplets, and he's worked his entire adult life, worked his ass off, and it's gone now for whatever reason. And I don't know what his story is, but I can only imagine, because I've talked to so many people just like that. You work your ass off to provide and want to do the best you can for your kids and for her. And it's just the way it's set up. Again, this isn't a misogynistic thing. This isn't man versus woman, not by any means. And I refuse to let it go there. But it is a bona fide fact that 90% of the time in all divorce cases, the mother gets primary custody of the kids, and dad's going to pay money through the state to her. That's just a fact. It's not an opinion. It's a matter of a fact. I mean, it might be 89% or 91.2%. It might be slightly off, but it's just a fact that's how it is. And the reason it's set up that way, I say this and I'll believe this till the day I die. Follow the money. In his own comment here, he brings up money. He worked his ass off, because that's what we all do. We all work our asses off to make money. That's just what we do. And for it to just get taken away. But the system is set up to follow the money. The people that work for the AG's office, their salaries literally come from Title 4D funding through the Social Security Act on a federal level. The state's AGs are reimbursed X amount of dollars. I don't remember how much it is, but it's a bunch. X amount of dollars for every dollar they bring in child support. They are reimbursed to pay the salaries of the employees. I mean, hell's bells. You get your employees' salaries paid for. You don't have to budget for it. All you got to do is get out there and sell. I mean, it pushed divorce, and mom's going to get the kids most of the time, because even in today's times, I know the women's rights have come a long ways. Women do have the right to vote. Women are not treated as second-class citizens in most cases. I know there's some disparaging events that happen. I totally get that, but especially back in the 70s when all this crap started, by and large, the men went to work and the women stayed home with the kids. Not saying that's how it should be, just saying that's how it was. I'm not saying I agree or disagree with it. Just saying that's how it was. So who are you going to, when a divorce, who are you going to make sure has to pay? The guy with the money. And the guy with the money is the guy. Your local NPC. Yes, I've been through the experience of doing that. When I was freshly 12, I took stale cigarette from my mother's desk, who had been smoking my whole life. I have no clue what you're talking about. Maybe I'm either behind on comments or you're talking to somebody else. Sorry about that. Why did you name Parker versus the Man from Panagiotis? I'm going to get your name right one of these days. Gorgillis. I'll tell you why. Back then, I was trying to find out who I was. I, again, was always religious, Baptist, Republican. And once they started, those Christian Republicans started doing to me what they did to me, I started questioning everything so much that I got where it's at. Yeah, there it is. Got it tattooed on my arm, question everything. And there was this libertarian activist named Adam Kokesh. And I started watching his videos, and he had a TV show on RT called Adam versus the Man. And he had started out as a radio podcast and turned into a television show. And I just liked his stuff back then. We've since gone our separate ways. I'm not going to get into any of that, but that's how that got started. We became friends-ish. We knew each other, but that's where I got it. He had Adam versus the Man, and I just thought it was, I liked his activism. There's other things that happened that, again, I'm not even gonna go into. All that's in the past, but that's where the name came from. The man being big government, big brother. Is a prenup enough protection without being a lawyer? It won't stop her from getting knocked up, but I'm just joking. Prenups, I think, are an excellent idea if you actually have some kind of worth. If you're both broke and y'all are young and decided you wanted kids and get married, if you're both broke, prenup's not going to do you any good. Not at all. It's going to cost you some money to get it. It's going to put some weird angst in between you and her, or you and him, whichever the case may be. Like I said, if you're both broke, if you're each of your net worth is about the same, 0, 5, 10, 20,000, not much, then it's not worth it. It's not worth the ink it's written on. Prenups are for really, really rich people like Johnny Depp. I have no idea if he got a prenup. A lot of celebrities do get them, and a lot of them should but don't, because they get, bless their hearts, conned by those beautiful eyes, that nice round butt, and those voluptuous boobies, and it makes men stupid, and they don't do it, and they should. That's whenever you're making a union, a civil union, and one party's got a shitload of money and the other one's relatively broke, that's what a prenup is for. To meaning, I've got all of this and you've got almost nothing, and I'm willing to marry you, but if we do get divorced, then anything we make after that, we split, but anything I made before, you can't touch. That's essentially what a prenup is. Again, not a lawyer by any means. I just simply kind of know the basics. But yeah, if you're worth a lot and you're really planning on getting married, and especially if you are planning on getting married and haven't known each other that long, then absolutely. If you've got a lot and he or she doesn't, absolutely. Because once you get married, everything you make together becomes what the states know as community property. And community property means everything gets split right down the middle. Damn near to the kids. They'll damn near split your kids. Weirdly enough, that is an old Bible story. I can't remember who it was. Was it Abraham? No, he just chopped their ends of their penises off. Some wise man in the Old Testament was about to, and I don't know, it was just a parable, but they're going to cut the baby in half because they're arguing over who the baby belonged to. Just a joke, just a joke. Let's see, from Kate Snan. Don't rush to have kids young. I had a daughter at 19, then the father dipped. I worked double to pay everything, and childcare is expensive. He hasn't spoke to me since. I told him I was pregnant. That is a horrible situation. And you're exactly right, Kate. Don't rush into it. Like, again, I'm not going to certainly not going to point blame at Kate for her situation any more than I would point, or any more less than I'd point at my own self. I'm without knowing Kate's story any more than I do. I assume she's a young mother and had sex with a guy and got pregnant, and he dipped. That's kind of where I was. I was a young guy, had sex with a woman, had 4 kids with her. Didn't work out. Be careful who you decide to split the sheets with. Take responsibility for who, and I'm talking to myself. I'm not ripping Kate. I'm talking to, the audience in general, whoever may watch this later. Men and women should be careful who they decide to split the sheets with. And I never thought I'd hear myself say that. Back in my wilder days, I was nuts. I went berserk, especially when I was drinking. And I regret it. It's one of my bigger regrets. I just wish I hadn't done it. It's gross. And in her, bless her heart, in her case, because one crazy night, and now they've got a baby, and he just dipped. Because you know what? I can say this. A lot of guys are scumbags. A lot of men are pigs. I know I can say that because I am one, and I've been around a lot of them. I know men can be awful, terrible human beings. They're out for one thing. He got it and dipped. I mean, it's terrible, but I've owned up to my responsibility. I shouldn't have made 4 children with a woman that I wasn't compatible with. I'm sure Kate would agree. She shouldn't have made a baby with someone she didn't really know that well. I mean, she had her daughter at 19. I mean, you couldn't have known him that long. You just couldn't have. You're only 19 years old. Unless you just happen to be, growing up with childhood friends. But anyways, taking personal responsibility is part of protecting yourself. And regardless of what some people say, the rock and rollers, I fell into it at a time. You just get a high notch count or whatever. But rock and rollers are also glorified drugs, bad drugs, and getting drunk. And Hollywood glorifies that. I mean, that just because it's glorified doesn't mean it's reality and it's a good idea. Every extra dollar I have, I put into crypto to try and get ahead in the future. That's an excellent idea. Crypto, keep in mind that cryptocurrency is very cyclical. It's got a business cycle just like any other investment, any other like Wall Street or something. Sometimes stocks go up, sometimes they go down. Sometimes crypto goes up, sometimes it goes down. If you started buying crypto 2 months ago, you are almost guaranteed to be in the red right now. Like it's going down. Hopefully, knock on wood, we've reached the bottom. In this cycle, we've been in a bear market officially for realio in a bear market for several months now. And in a bear market, for those of you who don't know, it's just when it's basically the overall trend is the curve, the prices are going down. If you bought just a few months ago, you're most definitely in the red right now. You're bleeding money. But if you don't sell, you hold on to it, eventually you get in what's called a bull market. And the bull market's coming. It's hard to see, but I promise you, the bull market's coming because they always do. Just like with stocks. If we've all heard of the Great Depression, the crash of 1920, what it was, maybe it was 1920 itself. We've all heard of the Great Crash. We've all heard of the 2008, the housing crisis when everything crashed. There's always crashes and then there's always booms. And we just so happen to be in a recession with the Federal Reserve printing money like absolute crazy. When you inflate the money supply, every dollar you have is worth less. And they call this a stagflation. I remember learning that in college. Yes, I did go to college. I didn't graduate, but I did go to college. I actually made the Dean's Honor Roll in 2003, I think, 4. Never finished, but anyway, stagflation is based, and I'm not an economist, but it's the worst case scenario. You've got a shitty economy and inflation at the same time, and it's really, really hard to pull out of. And that's where we're at right now. It's just, and I have a feeling it's just going to get worse. I think crypto's probably going to stay down for at least a little while longer, but it will come back because, like any other investment, it always does. And on top of that, I wouldn't be surprised if Tori's heard me say before that crypto is by far the safest way to hide your money from the crooked family courts. They can't find it. Get it off the exchange. You got a little bit of Bitcoin, get you one of those, I can't remember the name, Edge wallets. It's a hard wallet. It's about the size of a thumb drive. And you don't put your crypto on it because all crypto stays on the blockchain. Always. You're putting the keys, the passcode to get to your crypto on the blockchain into this hard cold wallet, meaning you've got the keys in your hand, physically in your hand. Only you have access to it. If your money is on the exchange, which I keep money on the exchange because I buy and sell. If you have it in a hard wallet, it's hard to quickly access it to buy or sell. But if you've got a little small nest egg, like say you got a quarter Bitcoin or something that you know you're not going to sell because everybody knows and the next bull run in 2024 is going to be amazing, that $10,000 worth of Bitcoin is going to be worth about $50,000 worth of Bitcoin. You're going to put it in a hard wallet where nobody can access it. Get you a cold wallet and put it on there. I love cryptocurrency. It's just absolutely amazing. It's scary, and there's a lot of scammers out there. But once you figure it out, it's bad to the bone. Again, I talked about community property. Community property is anything you've gained during the marriage, whether he or she had anything to do with it at the time. It's still half hers or half his. You know, if you got separated, you're still legally married. You made a crypto purchase in order to save your ass, and then all of a sudden your $500 contribution that you made turns into, $2,500. Put that son of a bitch in a cold wallet and you hide it. And they can put liens on it all they want to. If they can't find it, You can literally get these little cold wallets and you can put them in in a plastic baggie and put it in a Pelican case, those hard, super hard cases, and literally go bury it at the bottom of the ocean in a place that only you know where it's at, where water can't damage it. You can hide it there. And you know how much money you can put on one thumb drive? Billions. You can put literally billions of dollars if you are fortunate enough. If you've got Elon Musk money, you can put billions of dollars on a tiny little thumb drive and put it in a plastic baggie and put it in a Pelican case and get your dive gear and bury it at the bottom of the ocean where only you know the coordinates to get to, and they can put a lien on all that all they want to, and there's not a damn thing anybody can do about it. Even if they do find it, good luck breaking the code because you're the only one that has the keys. Speaking of Elon Musk and Johnny Depp, I know Elon's one of those, he's a colorful individual. I don't know what to think of him. He says some really cool things that I agree with. And then he goes and bangs Amber Heard while she's separated from Johnny Depp. I watched the testimony where, well, it wasn't a testimony. It was they were playing a tape. No, it wasn't a tape. It was an email he sent to somebody. He calls him mollusk. And there's this rapid, this scathing email he sends to somebody. I need your hard drive, or I need your text or something like that. And he kept calling Elon Musk. He kept calling him mollusk, and they're reading it out, and he's like dropping F-bombs and dropping, the horror words. And I mean, he's going off, and he's just on the stand. They read it, and he said, "Is that a fair assessment of what you wrote in your own word, Mr. Depp," or something like that? And he goes, "Yes, it is." Like, oh, it was so epic. The guy's got just so much class. Depp, that is. But yeah, Elon Musk was involved with Amber Heard, and I remember hearing about that. I'm like, that is just bizarre, because that guy's got like 8 kids. Elon does. Like, he's super, super weird. He's got all these different kids with all these different women, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not judging the guy. He's obviously got the money to take care of him. How well of a father he is, who knows? I don't think people know a whole lot. There's Ms. Amanda right there. I was just talking about you a minute ago. He's a bit of a strange duck, though. I don't really know anything about his cheerings. I know he's got a bunch of them, but I just thought that was hilarious. Whenever they said, "Is that," they're trying to make him look bad. You dropped all these F-bombs and said all these horrible things, almost threatening things. And he's like, "Yes." Like, goddamn right, motherfucker. It was hilarious. Johnny Depp won. I was always Team Johnny, says Kate. I was too. I've just always supported the guy, even though I didn't know a whole lot about it. But I could just see through Amber Heard. I can see through that BS. I knew that Me Too stuff. I knew that was a crock of crap the first time I ever saw it. Amanda Franklin, the difference between Johnny and Amber is that he has the one thing money can't buy, and that's class. Yep. You cannot buy that. You've either got it or you don't. And you don't even have to have money to have class. You can have class without money, but Amber has now apparently got neither. She's got net zero money, and I don't think she's ever had any class. I think her best acting was never on camera. Amber Heard's best acting were all the men that she conned with that magical vagina of hers, apparently. That was her best acting ever. I've never even seen an Amber Heard. I don't have to see an Amber Heard movie. I will not watch an Amber Heard movie unless it's just for reference or something. I'm not going to go out and just buy one. I've never seen Aquaman. Don't really care to see it. Nothing against Jason Momoa, but apparently I'm not into the gossip stuff. But I mean, that dude, he seems like a nice, likable guy. Married to that Lisa Bonet chick. it looks like she probably got involved in that, and that's why they split. Like, that bitch is just poison. Jukul 5, she's so screwed, and she deserves it for what she did to him. Yep. It is just glorious to watch a narcissist get served their just desserts and handed their ass on a platter. Oh, it is just absolutely glorious to watch. I loved watching it. I love watching her squeal. She's already put out a statement about this is, detrimental, blah, blah, just same old predictable Me Too crap. This whole believe all women is the worst idea I've ever heard. And on the surface level, that sounds misogynistic. Listen to every individual woman, and listen to every individual man, and listen to every individual 14-year-old who doesn't want to get out of their dad's truck or their mom's car. Listen to people when they're telling you, when they're crying out, listen to them individually and objectively. But saying, believe all women is like saying believe all 14-year-olds or believe all men, because some men actually rape people. Are you supposed to believe all them too? Some women are just like Amber Heard. Are you supposed to just believe all women? I thought that was real funny. Where is Alyssa Milano men? I mean, that woman has never passed up an opportunity to come support one of their own. And she apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, she's just been completely MIA. Where is Alyssa? Alyssa Milano, where are you? One of your girls, one of your Me Too chicks need you. I'm sorry. Are we even allowed to say girl anymore? I mean, there's 58, technically 58. Facebook recognizes like 58 genders now. I think that's what I read somewhere. Where are you, Alyssa Milano? Your girl needs you. She needs some backup. Where you at? 9mm clan. Hey, I'm 2 years younger than your oldest son and went through the same thing with my mom. My dad also fought for me. He eventually got me when I was 17. Congratulations. Well done. So Parker's 23. You must be 21. You got to at least have the last little bit with the parent that you preferred. Well done. Well done, Dad. Yep, chatting a bit. Yeah, 58 genders. I just read an article about that. Apparently now when you sign up with Facebook, you get a selection. There's 58 different ones. Can't remember. Oh, I know where I saw that. This dude, Matt Walsh. There's this guy named Matt Walsh, and he's a documentarian making a documentary called What is a Woman? As shocking as the title as that is, I mean, who would have thought just a few years ago that would be something worthy of making a title, and then it would actually be controversial? What is a woman? Well, we all know what a woman is. If you've got half a brain, you know what a woman is. But I think that's where I saw that. It was like it was flashing through his, making an advertisement for a documentary, and it said there for new people just signing up for Facebook, you get an option. I mean, 58. I mean, how would you? How do you know which of the 58 you are? And if there's 58, there might be 59. Are you offended when the 59th option's not there? I just don't know how that works. I think it's insanity. Yes. Michelle Nightingale, What is a Woman? That's the name of his documentary. I think it's either already out or it's about to come out. I'm pretty sure his name is Matt Walsh. And I follow him on Instagram. I don't know how long he'll be there, but Cool5. Could you read some of these gender options? No, I can't. I don't really know that I care to. I guess I could do it if I care to look it up, but yeah, exactly. 58. Why stop there? 59, 60. Man, I start on these topics and I wind up talking about other things, but oh well. Here we go. Fat Cat. There's old Fat Cat. I remember you. Alyssa Milano is a victim of Joe Biden, and she was a child star on Who's the Boss. She has many handlers, and I hope they all fry. Sense a bit of sarcasm there. That's the only place I remember Alyssa Milano from Who's the Boss. I had a crush on her. Like, she's just a few years older than me, but she was a child star off Who's the Boss with Tony Danza. And then she got big and just went all, ooh, I don't know if y'all heard that. That hurt. She went all woke. Alyssa Milano went woke. There's Ms. Amanda again. It has been so telling during this trial of how horrible she is and how narcissistic. Making her stand there and listen to everything she did is everything. She was so angry. Yeah, she's mad. She was boiling. When she was asked a question from Camille, she just turned over to jury. Well, the answer is a simple yes or no question, but I'm going to put in all kinds of bullshit crap to confuse you and make eye contact with you, and then look back at Camille, if Camille hadn't already objected to it. Oh, Camille is just, that woman's amazing. Just watching her, she didn't fall for any of that crap. She's become a superstar in her own right. Jetty Ann Solo, she was on Charmed. That's all I remember of her. I assume you were talking about Alyssa Milano. I don't even know. Ms. Amanda, again, I identify as a unicorn superhero. Kidding, but if it were an option, I'd be there. Well, how about that? I'm trying to hold a straight face, but I can't. I don't know if I can do it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She's talking about Alyssa Milano. Oh, nothing. Cool5. Do you know why Johnny wasn't there? It didn't look too much after the verdict. I think personally, yeah. See, Johnny was not there. I think he was in England. I know he was in England. He put out a show, but I personally think he was on there. It's a criminal trial. Apparently, he didn't have to be there. I don't even think you have to be there. A criminal trial unless you're the one found guilty. But it's a civil trial. He didn't have to be there. I think it made a really good statement. I think he probably had a really good idea that he may not win it all. I've said this for years. I've told this story about myself. During the Blaine debacle, when I got sued again in 2017, I could just feel the atmosphere was different with Judge Sarah Kate Billingsley. I didn't know what, I couldn't put my finger on it, but without going into all the detail, as it progressed, I knew I probably wasn't going to get everything I asked for. And I'm literally on record saying this. I probably wasn't going to get everything I asked for, but I was going to finally, after being sued over and over all these years, I knew I was going to get at least something. And I just have a feeling Johnny just, maybe he wasn't going to get all of it, but and he didn't. He didn't get the 50 million he's asked for. But I don't personally think Johnny Depp gives two craps about the money itself. I think he wanted his name cleared. which is coincidentally where I'm at. I care a little more about money than he does because I'm not financially blessed like that. But I want my name cleared. I want my name cleared from all this mess. That's why I keep it up. I just don't have his resources. And I think he probably just said, you know what? I'm in England. I'm around people that actually appreciate my talents, appreciate my camaraderie, whether he's playing with for his fans or hanging out with his friends. I think I'm going to win something. So what's the point in me being there? She's going to lose. She's going to be there. She's going to have the camera. You know, he's watched the internet. You know, he has. You know, he's seen the hilarious memes and the hilarious skits and videos that people have put out about Amber Turd. You know, he's seen it. You know, he has. So I think it was just like Amanda was saying, he's just got class. The guy's got class. And it was a final fuck you. A final fuck you to her without having to say it. Because if he had have busted out in the middle of the court and lost his cool, lost his class, and just started calling her everything in the book that he really felt about her, the reasons he wouldn't let her look him in the eye, that might not have gone over well with the jury, but it was just a final fuck you, bitch. It was a final in the last nail in the coffin. I'm got this in the bag, baby. You don't stand a chance, and I've got it so much in the bag, and I'm confident enough. I don't even have to show up. And I think personally, obviously, I don't know either one of them, but personally, that's what I think. Michelle, do you think if all trials were public, things would be different for all moms and dads going through those who weaponize the media for the court system? I absolutely do. I absolutely do. The courts are public, but for whatever reason, we're still mostly stuck in the Stone Age. Most don't allow cameras. Johnny even had to petition the court. There is a law that allowed him to, but he couldn't just, show up to court one day and just bring an entourage of cameras. There's a process you had to go through that he has a legal right to. A law says he's allowed to, but he had to literally petition the court. And I assume the judge has some kind of discretion whether or not she could allow it. But I remember about 2 months ago or 3 months ago, there's this fella I watch, Greg Ellis, and I've just recently been introduced to him not too long ago. I follow him on Twitter. He's actually personal friends with Johnny. He's the one where I learned about. He posted a picture of the petition that Judge, what's her name, Penny, I think's her name, approved and allowed the cameras to be in the court. So yeah, I think more cameras. I think every court case should be at least have somebody have access. I've done court watching years ago. I didn't do a whole lot of it, but I would occasionally go to court for, different people, usually fathers, but some other mothers, and it just court watch. But, I couldn't bring a camera, but I think they should. And I think a lot gets covered up because of the lack of transparency. And that's, part of the reason. I mean, like, for instance, let's say you don't trust courts. He doesn't believe in courts or cops. Let's say you just don't generally trust courts, but we all watch. There's no doubt you can watch the TV or the link to all the Johnny Depp stuff, and it's all there. I mean, Amber Heard, she had a few crazy supporters, staunch, nut jobs, but even the lady at the end of one of the feed that I was watching, she's walking around interviewing people, and she interviewed this one girl. She said, which I was proud of her. She said, I must admit, when I first heard about Amber Heard, Johnny Depp years ago, I just assumed that it was true, and I was disappointed, but I believed her, and I'm ashamed about it. And to me, that shows character right there. She fell for the BS, the Me Too crap back then. That thought Johnny deserved everything he got, losing the contract with Pirates of the Caribbean. And then come to find out, she watched the whole thing, the entire trial, Whether she's in the courtroom or watch it on her screen, I have no idea. But the fact that she didn't necessarily have to, anybody could have watched it and found out, yeah, she's just straight up liar. It's so obvious. It was proven she is a proven liar. So I think, yeah, there's downsides to COVID, but one of the good sides, at least, they held court and anybody could go on and watch all these Zoom meetings. Tony Coin Games loves Playhouse, Rage, and more fun. Amber is definitely a liar. Yep. No doubt. You think Amber won't pay Johnny? Is she getting a lot of trouble? Is Johnny B back on Pirate? Is Johnny going to be back on? I'm assuming. I doubt it. He's already told Disney, go fuck yourself, and good for him. As much as I know his fans of Johnny would love to see him, and shame because he's even testified how much of his own heart and soul he poured into that character, probably more than even he would have had to, even though he already had the role. He built that character apparently. I'm sure he would have absolutely loved to have done it, but since they screwed him like that, I don't blame him. I used to be way more forgiving. Back in my old days, I was really too forgiving. But I've reached a point in my life after getting screwed so hard and so awful. If you screw me in my, from here going out, any arrangement that I might have anywhere, friendship, romantic, anything, you screw me, backstab me in the back, never see me again, ever. I will turn just like Johnny did, and I will never talk to you again. Say, just like Johnny, no, he's not making Pirate 6. Every time I see an Amber Heard supporter talking mess about the trial, I just hope that it is a joke and that's how they're talking so robotically. I haven't even seen any people really standing up for her. I think Melissa Milano probably secretly supports her, but she's not out, running her big mouth like she normally does for women like her. Shadow, I watched the video about the argument. Do you guys went out to court about this? I'm not sure is that a question? Do you guys went out to court about this? I don't know what that means. Michelle, she is just a liar. I agreed. It all should be online for everyone. Yeah, it's open court. This is the 21st century. The human population has just absolutely exploded. Things change. I think I'd give anything if there was cameras in my 2017. Hell, in all of them, but particularly when I won. I would loved it. Do you see Judge A's comments did you see Judge A's comment as to why she let the camera in? It was absolutely beautiful to see the judge say, and that when we, the people, want the trial televised, you do it. They are your boss. No, I didn't. That's cool that she did. She's a real mild-mannered. I've seen some judges. They're like pistols. Like they're like real. I didn't see Judge. I'm pretty sure her name's Judge Penny. I didn't see her talk a whole lot, but what little I did, she didn't talk a whole lot, but she kind of reminds me of, I guess, Judge Judy. She's not going to just instantly side one way or another. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent there. Amanda Franklin, Judge A was amazing. Okay, y'all are going to have to tell me Judge A. Y'all are going to have to tell me who that I guess Penny's her first name. I don't know what Judge A was amazing. So polite and patient. She felt very fair. Is that her last name A? or is it like Armandares or something? Is it, what's her full last name? I heard everybody calling her Judge Penny. Maybe Penny's her first name, and that was like a polite thing that or the media were talking about. I don't know. I see so much of Johnny in you. Me? Oh, I've been hearing that lately. It's really cool. And I know you say you're weird. I am. Just like they say Johnny is. Johnny's definitely weird. He's fucking weird, but I like him. But I find you both endearing. Weird, no, eccentric maybe in the best way. Okay, well, eccentric, fine, fair enough. Johnny's just a fellow weirdo, just like me, and that's why. Again, I don't know all of his movies. I don't know hardly any of his movies that I've seen. I've just never disliked. I don't know him. I've just never like disliked. Like there's certain actors and actors I just cannot stand. Like just despise. And he's not one of them. Just always kind of like the guy. Yes, Michelle, I love that. Oops. Okay, y'all are talking to each other. What is Judge A's name? Oh, there it is. Who got that for me so I can know? Her name is Penny Azacate or something like that, and people call her Judge A. Okay, yeah. Okay, gotcha. I figured it was something like that. CX just hopping in to say, I love your setup going on, man. Have a nice day. Well, thank you. And you've got a kitty as your profile picture. I'm a sucker for kitty cats. I'm probably going to get off soon. Holy moly. Almost an hour and a half. I'm probably about to get off. Then there's not a whole lot of people here at the moment anyway, and I'm getting kind of hot back here. So, anyways, thank you all so much for joining, listening to my 2 cents and going completely off the rails from one topic to another about how kids act out. And lots of times it's probably their asshole parents' fault over to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff because I was just all over the place. Ultimately, I'm just here to have a good time and just talk. You know, they make me put in some kind of title there. I just kind of like talking to people and giving my 2 pesos. I've never even watched Pirates myself, just did this weekend, but never disliked him either. And now I find him so amazing. What he went through, I hope he recovers tenfold, and I always hope for you. Well, thank you, Michelle. I think he's going to. I think he's going to. He's Johnny's. I think he's got his mojo back, baby. So try to stop back again and talk all over the map again with you. Yeah, I'm all over the place. It's just a hangout. It's nothing serious. I don't take myself too seriously. But I am going to turn this off because I am getting hot. I'm not tired because I had a nap, but I'm getting hot back here. I've got this wall I've got to put up. Or y'all can probably hear a little bit of the air conditioning, but if I didn't have this soundproof barrier, this blanket, big thick blanket there, it'd be a lot worse. But that means that the air circulation doesn't get back here. So anyways, I'm going to end the broadcast, and this is kind of fun to me. I'm going to pick it up probably again tomorrow. Let me know what y'all think. Recommendations, criticisms. Should I go jump in a creek? Do you like me going on about this time, about 8 o'clock Eastern time? I'm in Florida, so I went on about 8. So that means it's about 9:30 now. Is this a good time for y'all? Would y'all prefer a different time? It just kind of works out for me these days. I'm not really too busy, so let me know what you think. That makes perfect sense. I'm a crypto libertarian. I can relate to a lot of things from Tori McFarlane. Okay, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's probably a hardcore Ron Paul guy. Hell yeah, love Ron Paul. All right, I'm going to end it this time, y'all. Bye. Thanks for showing up.